Here's all of our seedlings. Our tomatoes, so beef master, beef steak over here. Amish paste is all right here. We have our yellow and red
pear tomatoes.
They're like grape tomatoes. Mucho nacho.
Like we've a jalapeno. Broccoli, red cabbage, green cabbage, garden salsa tomato, peppers, and then California Wonder, bell peppers. And then we have some basil, and these are onion starts. And
we learned this method from M.I. Gardner, and I'll link his video down in the video description box. All right. And then there's also Red Knight XRs in here somewhere.
Yeah, these were all started in High Forest. We have planted them in hope and taking them along with us on the journey. And where we're staying now, our folks have been super supportive of us keeping these things growing and going. So now it's time to put them in their final destination. Before we post anything, we should get Father's permission.
Hey everybody, so this is the story of the traveling plants. We started planted the seeds back in our old house. We started growing the plants in our old house. Then we sold our old house. Then they moved to my dad's with us. And they've continued growing and everything.
We didn't have a place to plant any of this stuff. We worked out a situation with our priest to be able to plant them here at the church. And he raises honeybees.
Yep.
So we were like, win. And that turned out to be a pretty good deal. So we could show you a little bit of that. Here's the garden plot. What we're doing right now is just laying out our beds with fabric to keep our weed control down, help with moisture retention, weed control in the future, that kind of stuff, which is good. I always recommend covering your beds. It's the best way to garden, so you don't have to do so much maintenance and weeding. It also helps just protect the soil from getting burned from the sun. But we've got 7 rows so far. I think we're going to get another 5 or 6 in. So that's what we're going to finish up today. Then we're going to start planting. We've got our plants in the truck. We're going to start planting, getting as much done as we can. And then we'll be coming back later and intercropping some stuff as well. But we'll see how far we get today. We're going to get as far as we can.
And that's what you get to help us do today. We were on a rain delay for a day or two. And then end of last week, beginning of this week, we had really hard frosts that actually killed a lot of flowers that people had planted here in Minnesota. So we were holding off as much as possible, but now we're in the safe zone because today is Friday, May 15th, right? It's 15th. Next week it's going to be in the 80s. So we're pretty safe now, I'd say. If we have another frost, it will be
could happen.
Incredibly unseasonal.
It is Minnesota. But yeah, if anybody's curious about the setup we just wanted a temporary fence structure here too, by the way. You do get some deer pressure here, as well as rabbits and all the other little critters that we have here in Minnesota. So for the most part, we're just using this deer fencing. We picked it up at our local hardware store, farm store. It's a pretty good deal. It's this thicker stuff's about $40 for a 100-foot roll, and it's 7 foot tall. And then we got some finer stuff here too, which I think works just as good. Emphasis on temporary. That's where we're at.
Let's get to planting. So right now what Andy is doing is he's breaking up the sod and soil a little bit more. This hasn't been used for a garden before. You will have noticed at the beginning of the video, Andy was tilling it up a little bit. So now what he's doing is he's using a potato fork, because that's what we have, and we're being resourceful, to just break it up a little bit more. Normally you would use a broad fork to do this, but right now we just have the potato fork, and that is what we're using. This is going to help aerate the soil a little bit more, in preparation for getting plants in there. So while Andy works on potato forking the soil, I am going to get red cabbages, green cabbages, and then work on broccoli. So first what I have to do is I need to measure in the landscape fabric, spacing and holes, and
excuse me, ma'am,
cut the holes so that I can get the cabbage in, and that's what I'm going to do. right, so Andy, as you can see right there, is putting in the last 2 tomato plants. So while he's doing that, I figured I would give you a rundown of what is in the garden, because we're just about done. When he gets done with that, we are going to water them and then we're good for the night. But as you can tell, it was a lot of work. We have been here for 3 hours doing this, and completely worth it tonight. So let's just cross our fingers and pray that it rains tomorrow and Sunday like it's supposed to, and it's a nice gentle rain to just help get everything settled in. So let's go see what's in the garden. Okay, so here we have cabbages. It's green and red alternating. And then in this row, there's just cabbages down there. There's a few open spots on this side that we will probably fill in with maybe kohlrabi. Haven't decided yet. This is broccoli. Another broccoli. This is Blue Lake bush beans. Yep. Blue Lake bush beans. That is a mouthful, and mix it up.
They're the best.
They're the best.
Stringless?
Yes, they are stringless. They're the ones that we prefer out of everything.
Produce a ton.
Had to break out my little notebook to see what we have here. Okay, here we have little Marvel shell peas, little Maestro shell peas. This is an experiment to see which one we like from this company. I don't think I've mentioned it, maybe I did, but this year we're going with seeds and such again. And I can link their website in the description as well. So we're just trying 2 different varieties here. All right, so in this row we have California Wonder peppers. They're green and eventually turn red. And then down there you can see the 3 little triangle situation down there. Those are mucho nacho.
Here we go.
Mucho nacho peppers. They're like jalapenos, right, Andy?
Yep.
Yeah, like jalapenos.
They're like a big jalapeno.
Like a bigger jalapeno, which is good for salsas and whatnot. Okay, so here we have beef masters, and the last 5 are Amish paste. This row is Amish paste. This row is also Amish paste. Another Amish paste. And then the last 6 in this row are Amish paste. Then we have 6 red ponderosa beef steaks. And then we have a yellow pear and a red pear that are like the grape tomatoes that we mentioned before. Now the reason we went with the Amish paste is because they are like San Marzano and Aroma. So they have a lot of meat and not a lot of liquid, which is really good for the sauce, salsa, soup.
Feel much better as your right hand man.
That's my left hand.
It's my right hand.
Me, your right hand lady. Anyway, we are going to get these veggies watered and go feed our chidlers.
They hungry.
They are hungry.
No, they hangry.
They're hangry. So
we out.
We thank you for watching, and we hope that you enjoyed the video and the update, and we'll see you around next time.